And I hit the record button, so we're good. Can everyone see me okay? We're good? All right. Well, first of all, hi everybody. I hope you're having a wonderful Monday night. It is May 23rd, and welcome to the team call. If you're new, my name is not Jennifer Greenberg. My name is Sarah Manaresi, and she has asked me to fill in for tonight because she's on vacation. And I'm a diamond coach, and she asked me to speak on our favorite topic of Success Club and hitting SC5 or 10 or beyond. I've been able to hit Success Club 5 or more since my first month of coaching, which was June of 2015. And so that makes it just about a year now. And when I hit Success Club this month, fingers crossed, not if, when I hit Success Club this month, I will be an all-star. So I'm super excited about that. I think we're all looking for that secret sauce on how to hit this goal every month. I know some of you have heard my story before, but before you newer folks, I do want to tell you a little bit about myself, just a little bit about my backstory, and there is a point to it, so, just bear with me if you already know me a little bit. My Beachbody story is pretty different from most people's in that I am not a product of the product. I'd grown up heavy since I was the age of 9 till I was 31 years old. And after weaning my second child, I developed postpartum depression and gained even more weight on the lovely medication I had to take in order to help me with that. I'm 5'3". I weighed 178 pounds. And although I had tried doing the whole diet and exercise thing in the past, this time I said, enough is enough. And I did this program called Watching What I Ate and Keep Track of It and Exercising. Shocker, right? And I can now say I've lost 50 pounds and have been able to keep it off for about 4 years now. So while I was losing weight, and mainly after I lost a lot of the weight, I started running, and let's just say I didn't cross-train really well at all whatsoever. And I got a knee injury because I had a very weak gluteus medius, and it's amazing how all your muscles work together, that's all the way in your backside, and it affects your knee. So Jen came in and was like, hey, have you heard of this program called PIO? And if you've done PIO, you know that she works your gluteus medius. And I was like, hey, I've already had 6 weeks of physical therapy. I don't want to go through that again. I'll give it a shot. Now, Jen and I had known each other because she was Mike's wife. Mike and I had grown up, and eventually he got married to Jen. And we didn't really talk that much because we lived in different states and that kind of thing. But when Facebook became popular and she became a Beachbody coach, she friended me, and we all know where the story is going, right? So, but I've never, ever felt like she was interested in me as like a client or trying to get me on her team or anything like that. Just as the girl who's known Mike since a teenager. And then when she became pregnant with Mikey, we started talking on a more regular basis. So when I finished PIO, of course, she presented me with the coaching opportunity. She's like, hey, I think you'd make a really great coach, especially knowing your story. And I said, no. And I had zero desire to want to drink a shake. I had done that whole drink 2 shakes thing and lose weight, and it didn't work, duh. And I had no time for a career. I have 2 crazy boys. My husband travels all the time. I have no family in the area. Basically, every excuse I could think of. I just didn't want to. And she said, okay. And I think I eventually got like 3 programs from her, but no Shakeology. And this past year, my youngest was going to be in school for full time for the first time. And I didn't necessarily have to go back to work, but I wanted to do something besides just doing the mom thing. I wanted to maybe help some people who had been asking me about my story, like, well, how did you lose 50 pounds? So I started looking at the Beachbody contract. And I was like, well, I would have flexible hours. I would, do things on my time, and I wouldn't have to get a babysitter if my husband was out of town. I was like, okay, I'm going to look into this. And so when I asked Jen about the contract, she's like, wait, you're thinking about becoming a Beachbody coach? And I was like, well, yeah. And she was shocked because it took me not 2 months, 2 years to become a Beachbody coach, from the first time she asked me to become a coach to actually becoming a coach. And the whole point of this story is that Success Club should not be called Success Club. It should be renamed Sustained Communication. Now, what do I mean by that? For me, most of my points come from the relationships I have built over time. Jen and I have built this relationship of trust over time. Honestly, I don't know how our top coaches bring in all these points. A part of me is happy jealous of them. And if you haven't read Girl Code, even if you're a guy on this call, you should definitely read that book. It's all about, really supporting each other instead of tearing each other down. And anyway, I do struggle every month to just try to change 3 to 5 lives every month. However, I find that because I've taken the time to learn how to communicate with people, that my new teammates stay around longer, and I feel like I have a strong foundation of trust with them. In my almost 1 year of coaching, I've only actually had one person ask me to take her out of my group, and I've only had about 3 discount coaches turn in their paperwork. So I have probably close to 60 people in there, but like 36 people who have really bought challenge packs and done the whole 9 yards. So I think 4 out of 36 is a pretty good track record for me in my first year. I'm not saying that everyone's rocking the program, that they're drinking Shakeology every day, that they talk all the time. We all have those up and down moments in our business. But I do really feel that my teammates know that I'm there for them, and that the only way that I'm going to leave is if they kick me out. So, and recently I've been feeling more and more of the ripple effect as time goes on. And if you haven't read The Slight Edge or The Compound Effect, those are 2 great books to start with as well. One thing that we've been taught, obviously, is to invest in ourselves in personal development. Charlene Johnson, Darren Hardy, and countless others strongly encourage their listeners and students to invest at least 10% of your income back into yourself. And probably the greatest investment that I made was a $30 opportunity to have my personality analyzed by Ron Keyes. And I don't know if any of you were on the call back in January. He spoke, and I took him up on his offer. It was the best $30 I have ever spent. And here's why. He not only analyzed my personality, but also the way that I communicate and how I relate to people. And more importantly, how I can change the way I can communicate with different people of different communication styles. It's more about finding out what someone's why is. I mean, don't get me wrong, finding out what someone's why is definitely important, but it's tapping into the core of who a person is. I call it kind of like making eye contact in a business that you don't get a lot of face-to-face time up front, especially when you're tapping into your cold market. He teaches that we all fall into 4 different kinds of personality types based on the DISC scale. Now, I know there's like a lot of different things out there. There's the color wheel, there's the gemstones. He goes with the DISC, and that stands for dominance, influencing, steadiness, and compliant. And I'm going to go over those really quickly with you so you can kind of get an idea of what I mean, how this has really helped me in my business. So D stands for dominance. For these customers, decision-making comes easy. They love things that save them time or improve their results. You just have to hit the high points with them because time is very valuable to them. They want to know how much that challenge pack costs. And it's, like we always try to not be salesy. They want you to be salesy. They want to know what it is. Here's the list. Here's the thing. I'm in, I'm out, I bought it. They like things that move up and down and require them to make decisions. You always give this kind of person an alternative or two and encourage them to make a decision. The I stands for influencing. They're also decision makers. If you get them start talking, and they will sell themselves on your idea. You have to expect that these kinds of people, they are late or they miss the meeting entirely. You just have a backup plan if you carved out time for them. They are pretty disorganized, so you need to back up your conversations with a note listing of all the points that you've done in your call or even in a Facebook chat. They make decisions based upon how they feel about something. And it's really important to bring as many of their senses into the conversation as possible, especially visual. So those before and after pictures, those are really good for high I kind of people. The S stands for steadiness. And the three most important things to this person are the relationship, having a process, and avoiding risk. If you sell yourself first and really listen to what they have to say and try to find out what they've tried in the past, you'll have more success. They have a fear of new things, so just let them stick to what makes them feel comfortable. They like the words we and our, so this is what we do as a group. This is what my challenge group, how we support each other. They love those kinds of words. They like to feel included. These people are not comfortable with making decisions whatsoever. Always encourage them to think it over for a couple of days and get permission to give them a call back. And always make the final decision a simple yes or no. Don't give them a bunch of choices. That's not good. C is for compliance. And analysis is really big for this group. Decision making is also difficult for them. In fact, they have to analyze everything under the sun before they make a decision. And what's really helpful is if you say, okay, we're going to meet on Thursday at 11 o'clock. Here's a bunch of information. I'm going to send it to you ahead of time. Look it over. Have questions already laid out for me because they'll want to have a couple days to look it over and compare it to everything that Google can pull up on it. They don't like taking risks either, and they don't like making decisions. So always for them, make a decision a simple yes or no as well. Now, that all being said, did you know that 67% of the population falls into the I and S personalities? And did you know that from these two groups come most of our customers, and therefore also comes our coaches? So if you gear your posts and your ads and your communication style to the I and S personality types, you'll gain the attention of 67% of the people out there. And if you apply it to your niche group, and you can more effectively target the kind of people that you want to attract. Now, I'm going to do my best and pull up this page, and I can pull it, post it later in our team page. And I just want to go over it with you really quick. Do share screen. I'm new to all of this, so thumbs up if it's showing up okay. Okay, I'm going to skip the D's and the C's for now and just concentrate on the I's and S's. So here are some really great tips when you're communicating with I and S people. So with communicating with an I type, you want to focus on the experience. You want to allow time for relating and socializing. They want to know how your day was. They want to tell you a story beforehand. They want to tell you, you want to get them to talk about their dreams and their intentions and their goals. And they want you to put the details and action items in writing. Always ask for their opinion about something. So you can say, hey, here's the challenge pack for 21-day fix. What do you think about it? What do you like best about it? Those are great questions for I people. Using words like fun and I feel and this is exciting, you'll look great. Recognition, our fourth vital behavior, is huge with I's. Also, they like incentives. Is this the group that likes, I'm sorry, do I have the right one? Yeah. They like, they like incentives. And like the lady who spoke on the National Wake Up Call this morning, Jen, was saying this morning she was always offering incentives to her coaches and to her customers. By just listening to her, I can tell she's a high I. She likes to have that as a goal for them. They like you to be energized and friendly and colorful when you talk to them. And if you get them on the Zoom chat, smiling and expressive gestures are really important as well. You don't want to be cold or curt or tight-lipped with them. They like personality. They don't like to drive facts and figures. They don't really care about that as much. You don't want to cut the business meeting short or come across like it's a business meeting. They really want to have that interpersonal relationship with you. And they especially don't like being talked down to. Don't patronize them. That's a complete turnoff. We are going to now go down to the S group. So I'm going to scroll up. And communicating with an S is focusing on listening to what they have to say. You break the ice with personal comments. So like what Jen has told us in our downlines, and, just great rule of thumb, go on their Facebook page. Oh, she has a daughter who's 3. Oh, I just noticed that your daughter had a birthday party. How old is she? She looks 3. She's adorable. What does she like to do? What was her birthday party about? That's how you kind of break the ice. You draw out and respond to their personal objectives. You want to be casual and informal and ask specific questions about them and what their goals are. And you also want to be sensitive to if you've possibly hurt their feelings. And how I see that is, we do talk a lot through Facebook, and we do say some things that may be misinterpreted because they don't hear your tone of voice. So if you notice that they've shrunk back from you, go back through your conversations and say, I wonder if she read it or he has read it in a way that I didn't think she could communicate, or in a way that she could have interpreted it. So go back and say, hey, look, I was going back through our conversation and I noticed that I had written this and I realized, she might have thought I meant this, but this is what I really meant. And I just wanted to clarify that for you. You want to be logical and non-threatening and soft. They like words like, I'll let you think about it for a couple days. Take your time. I don't think Jen realized that it would take 2 years when she said, take your time. I think she was thinking more like, like a week or something like that. So be careful with that phrase. But you want to give them a logical step-by-step process of how to get through signing up or anything like that. Words like trust me, I guarantee, I promise. Giving them security is really important for a high S. You want to be relaxed and calm and steady, and just not like you know what you're doing, but just really calm, zen like Jen, just go with the flow when you're talking to these people. You don't have to be all over the place. They don't like being rushed into anything. They don't like being pressed for quick decisions. They like to take a couple of days to think about things. They're not impulsive in their buying habits. Don't be abrupt or rapid. And don't interrupt, and try to just really put your listening ears on, as my mom would say. She's a teacher. Don't overestimate their satisfaction, and don't be threatening or demanding. So those are the I and S personalities. I'm going to stop the screen share and go back here. Does this look good? You can see me all right? Okay. Sorry, I'm still new to all this. Now, I know that a lot of you have downlines now, or are looking to build downlines. So what are some practical ways that we can use these communication styles with our downlines? And I want to know how many of you struggle with getting your coaches to hit Success Club. I'm sure we all do. And unfortunately, it's just something that we can't control. However, I want to bring up that statistic again. If 67% of our customers and coaches are from the high S and I groups, more than likely 50% of them are going to be I's and 50% are going to be S's. So they're going to come from these personality types. And if that's the case, then your secret sauce is giving them something that they can follow. And I want to give you an example. I know when I was trying to become more confident in presenting the coaching opportunity, if you haven't guessed yet, I'm a high S, and with high I tendencies. I like to talk a lot, which is high I, but I love my processes, and doing something new and different completely terrifies me. So I need a process. And so when I didn't know how to do this coaching opportunity presentation, I asked Jen and Scotty Hobbs to give me some, just like a basic outline, something that I could take and make my own. And so they did, and it was a great starting point for me. And I was able to make it my own and then implement it. And since then, I've had a lot more confidence in this area. If you've ever watched any of Melanie Mitro's videos, I can almost guarantee you that she is a high S. She needs duplication. She needs a process. So what does she do for her coaches? If like attracts like, she makes her everything that she does duplicable, so they can follow it. So my advice is just sit down with your coach and come up with a strategy of how to get from point A to point B. Sometimes, I'm not saying that you need to like tell them every little single thing to get from point A to B, because it's going to change, but give them breadcrumbs. Like if they're struggling with the invite process, okay, here are 3 examples that I use. Either they'll use them word for word, and then they can eventually make it their own, make it sound more like them. But sometimes they just need a starting point, and then it helps them to get to that invite. Okay, well, she said, I'm more interested. Now what do I do? Then you can give them the next breadcrumb. They just need a process to follow. And sometimes the unknown or the fear of messing up makes them so nervous that they're even afraid to try. That would be me. If that's the case, I highly recommend the book Failing Forward. It completely helped me like 110% get over my fear of failing. I'm also I want everything to be perfect. And you know what? This business, you can't be perfect. You just got to kind of go for it. And it really helped me get over that hump. Obviously, I could spend hours going over the information that I learned through this. And you see, I learned what keywords to use, what keywords not to use, how people even behave in a group type setting. And the list goes on and on. What's great about it is that I can apply it to anyone that I talk to. And I can also teach it to my downline and to all of you as well, so that you can help your team grow and your business grow, and find out what works best for you and your team. So what does this all boil down to? Communication is your key to hitting Success Club. It's your key to get your customers involved in your challenge groups, which then is your key to getting more coaches on your team. It's also your key to keep your coaches on task and having an open line of communication with them. And don't use the excuse that you're an introvert and you can't talk to people, because I'm going to sink that boat right now. Both Jen and Scotty Hobbs are rocking this business, and they're complete and utter introverts. So if they can succeed, you can too. And trust me, I know that hitting Success Club is probably for me at least, is probably one of the hard parts about our business, especially when you're first starting out. I have a love-hate relationship with hitting Success Club every month. I love it because it gives me a process. I have a goal every month that I need to hit, that I want to hit, that I'm striving to hit. But I hate it because it's still not easy for me yet. It's a learning process. I'm still figuring out my secret sauce and adding ingredients and taking things out on a daily basis. But the more that I understand about people and how that I can pour into them, the more I feel that let me start again. The better and long-lasting results I see with me, that trust is really built. And the friendships are even stronger, I find. So what I'm just really trying to communicate, which I'm not doing very well at this moment, but I just want you all to feel like you can communicate with anybody and just feel really at ease with anybody that you're talking to, even if you are a naturally shy person. You don't have to be afraid. And it really is such a key to not just hitting Success Club, but having that sustained communication with people, that they really get to know you and they really get to trust you. And I think that's what this fitness journey is all about. They come to you because they want to trust you. And this is how you build that. So before I end, I just want to let you know that if you were interested in Ron Keese doing an analysis for you, he said that he'd give you the discounted rate of $30, and it's for like the 15-minute analysis. And then he follows up with like 2-3 phone calls. Each one was like over an hour, and it's just you and him, and you go over all the information and how you can apply it to your business. So I can leave his email address in the group page if you want. I'm also going to leave a copy of, he's left it before, but he left a packet, and I'll leave that in the group as well. But for now, that's pretty much what I had to say. If anyone has any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. And I guess just take yourself off mute because I'm still learning how to do this.
Sarah, good job. I think, Phyllis, if you open your chat.
Yeah.
Phyllis.
Yeah, I did contact Ron, and I did have, I filled out the thing in the session. To be honest, I kind of fell off on it. Excuse me. But how do you identify when you don't know these people? Sometimes we're never even hearing their voices, right? Mm-hmm. How do you identify right away what kind of person they are, and therefore how to speak to them and what keywords to use and things like that?
Okay. Well, as Beachbody, as you can tell, because I've picked up on this the past, especially since I've been concentrating on this for the past week. We're really implementing that 4th vital behavior, recognition. That is key for high eyes. We really concentrate on making systems that we can pass down to our downlines. That's really high S's. So more than likely, the kind of people who are attracted to this business are high I's and high S's. So if you do that as your first initial assumption, then you're better able to communicate, because that is 67% of the population. So you're going to hit over half the population if you're going to automatically assume that they're an S or an I. D's you can pick out like a sore thumb. They want, they'll blow, like I don't get a lot of them, but they're always the ones, okay, yeah, thanks. How much does it cost? And they're not being rude or anything like that. They just, nah. And then the C's, when you present it, they're always like, the C's, they're always like, well, I need to think about it. And, okay, so I Googled it last night, and it said, and I found a better deal on Amazon.
Yeah, I get a lot of C's.
And on eBay, so why should I buy it from you? And those are kind of C's. D's, if they're women, tend to be more on the profession side, like lawyers, doctors, that kind of profession, that kind of thing. So I generally would suggest just gear your posts more to I's and S's, since it'll gain more of the population that way. And then you can you'll get a feel for it, oh, this person just wants me to cut to the chase. She must be a D. Oh, this person is like overanalyzing every little thing that I'm saying. She's a C. And the I's, they light up like a Christmas tree when you look at what Phyllis did this week. She invited 3 people, and they're like, oh, let's go, that kind of thing. She lost 2 pounds. Yes, that's me. The Price is Right people. And S people, they just want to process, okay, that's why Beachbody appeals to them. Here's the process. You drink your Shakeology. You do the program. You have an accountability partner. Bam, you're going to get results. That's a process. Right. And so, typically those are the people you're going to be talking to, and how you can more easily identify them.
Okay. Thank you. I have to go back and read, because he really was great, everybody. I agree. But I have to go back.
It's a lot to go through. And he's happy to, like, I email back and forth every once in a while. So it's not even like, okay, 3 phone calls, goodbye, see you later. It's, he really, if you put in the time, he'll put the time in as well. So.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Do we have any more questions? I tried not to talk too much. I have a habit of rambling. Okay, well, if that's all, I hope you all have a great night. I know there's a couple of us who are going to Summit who still have room in their rooms for your downlines. So if anybody who's looking to go to Summit, I know there's some people who are still looking for roommates and stuff. So just either post in the main team page, or if you're part of this Summer Summit page, there are a couple posts in there as well for people who still have rooms. So we want to make this as affordable for everybody as possible. So you're welcome. I hope you all have a good night too, and hope you enjoy this book. And we'll talk to you later.
Thank you.
You're welcome. See you later.